coming to you from the Lone Star Studio in Austin, Texas. This is some groundbreaking and exclusive content from Til'ton the Scales. Here are your hosts, Walter, the Wise Man Hall, and Nathan Logan.
Welcome, Walter, to an exclusive for Til'ton the Scale. We're going to get both of our opinions, probably your guttural opinion on the Patriots game, and Drake Mays, our maniacs, all in attendance for that game. And we'll start off first of all by I know you probably didn't enjoy the game. It's good to see you again. What are your
I mean, the first thing, it was exactly what I thought it would be. I mean, it was there were moments of brightness, things to look forward to. It was exactly what I thought it was. It was a beatdown from the beginning. I think, we had flashes, but there were just so many lapses, so many mental mistakes, so many penalties in inopportune times, fumbles, turnovers. There's no chance of us being able to stay in a game like that as long as we're making that kind of mental mistakes. Again, I saw a lot of things I liked. Drake May has a live arm, 3 touchdown passes. No, I mean, he has a live arm. He's fun to watch. I'm going to enjoy watching him. I'm glad he's playing. He almost got his block knocked off more than one occasion. He took some absolute shots, and that'll continue to happen when you have a combination of a young quarterback and a terrible offensive line who had 3 more injuries today. You and I might be called in to play center or guard here soon, Nate. It's going to get ugly. It's going to get real ugly.
It is really bad. There were some moments there. There were some moments there where it was just like, and it was the first half for sure, probably second quarter, where it was a play action pass, and the nose tackle on the defense was the first to the ball on a fake handoff, and first to the ball, meaning he met the quarterback to where the fake was, and it just so happens he went with an outside move, so he almost had his back turned towards the quarterback, so he couldn't actually make the tackle. But I was just like, it didn't look good for sure. The first half,
it didn't look good at all.
I did appreciate like that inside 2-minute drill. We got a nice score, and that kind of like muddled the ugliness, because at that point we were only down 7. But definitely some flashes. I'm not really sure. Again, I think both of us questioned the coaching, and I just wonder. Man, you saw he does have a live arm, so let's exploit that. We're talking about the guy doesn't have time to get a 5-step drop, right?
And that's the problem, right? Is that you can't exploit it too much, because he's going to get killed if he's not making the right decisions immediately, and that's tough. That's tough for a kid.
Yeah, but it's got to be, you've got to figure out a way to manipulate the defense to do something other than pressure the quarterback. Give them question marks. Like, you got to put people in motion. You got to change the formations. You got to give the defense something to set them back on their heels, and at least get out of their 3-point stance and wonder what they're looking at for a formation. And then if you can do that on offense, then that'll give you an extra half second, hopefully, and then you can do a more creative things where you roll the pocket out. You give the rookie 2 options, with potentially one of them being deep down the field, depending on the look of the coverage. Like, obviously, yes, he's got a live arm and he's accurate. I was going to look up the stats. I'm pretty sure that was offensively for our quarterback. That was definitely the most yards. Probably not the best efficiency wise, but I'm pretty sure he outplayed Jacoby as far as best game in the season right there.
One of those interceptions was absolute shit too. That was, the tip one in the end zone. Nothing you can do about that. That's not on him.
Yep.
And how many interceptions did he have? Was it 2 or 3?
Hold on one second. Turnovers were 4, interceptions 2.
Okay.
2 fumbles. Yeah, that fumble on Hopper It's not that it's inexcusable, but can't let that happen.
Can't let
You got
that
to
happen.
protect our offense needs to protect the ball. That should be paramount.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want Drake May. I don't want Drake May to beat himself up over throwing an interception. But
Yeah.
I mean, we have to be flawless on offense in order to even have a chance at sniffing victory. And
Yeah.
that
We can't
means,
turn the ball. We can't turn the ball over. You're absolutely right. We
yeah,
cannot turn the ball over.
and that's also penalties. Like you said, nine penalties for 50 yards we had.
Ugly.
We are the worst in third down conversion in the league. Sorry, second to worst. So we're 31 out of 32 teams. That didn't change today. I think we were, let's see, third down efficiency. We are 3 of 13, right
Yep.
on par. Uh, and our defense didn't do well at forcing them off the field on third and short or third and long. Our defense didn't play well at all, I thought. And again,
No, I
that
didn't. I,
I
did-
think
I
that
didn't think so either.
I think that team is probably very good. They've been up and down the first 5 weeks, but I think we see what they're capable of.
5-1. Are you talking about Houston? Houston's a
Just
good team.
their
I think they're going to be a contender.
Yeah, no, they are. I'm just saying their offense is underwhelmed at times this year,
Yeah. Especially
even
without
though they've
Nico.
still won. Yeah, even though they've still won. I mean, again, good
Yeah.
teams find ways to win no matter
And
what. Doesn't need to be on.
Tank Dell's no slouch. I think to have him as your third receiver and able to step into that role, I like his game. I like the way he played last year. I think that with an increased opportunity, he's going to start putting up some big numbers here in the next 4 or 5 weeks, however long it takes for Nico's hamstring to get back. You know what I also like for the Patriots? I think that I really enjoyed Pop Douglas. I thought he played very well. He's that same kind of shifty underneath, like Edelman type. He has got that kind of quick move, kind of first step that I think can play really well in an offense. You need to get rid of the ball quickly. I think that the more he and May play together, the better that chemistry is going to develop. And that may be between him and Hunter Henry, may be our 1 and 2 there throwing options. Because I'll tell you who doesn't impress me at wide receiver is the rookie Pope. Boy, he's looked lost recently, I think.
Yeah, he has. Baker was out. Javon Baker was out this week, but I
He's been
agree
out.
with
Has he played at all?
he has. Yeah, Douglas did look really good, and I agree with your evaluation. I think he's like a very very elusive, change direction quickly and
Yeah.
back up to top speed very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs more touches just because I'd say if anybody on the team is a home run hitter, he's our guy that is a home run hitter that could turn one, you know,
Yeah.
a little 5 yard or 3 yard out into a touchdown, a long touchdown, just because he
Well,
makes
I
people
mean,
miss.
we did have that nice long touchdown to how do you pronounce his name?
Booty. I call him
Booty.
Booty. We
To
like
Booty.
Booty.
Beautiful play. I think he had a couple nice catches. I think as he plays more and more, I think that he's another one that we could develop some chemistry out of. I just think Hunter Henry. I think Hunter Henry's another guy where we're going to have to hammer. He's a huge target. He's got good hands, 5-10 yards at a time. Like he can be a really big part of this offense. I'd like to see more out of him.
Yeah. Yeah, he had let's see, he had 3 catches for 41 yards. Yeah, I'd like to see that. He had 5 targets. I'd like to see him targeted more. Uh,
Yeah.
and he did have the touchdown. But yeah, Booty was, yeah, he can stretch the top on the defense, and that's what we need. I mean, again, the part that bothers me is that, I'm not saying we try and swing for the fences every time our offense is on the field, but let's take some shots. You
Yeah.
know, again, the rookies out there, we're 1-5. We're down,
Yeah.
we're down by 20. Let's not make it vanilla anymore.
Yeah.
Again, and I don't like saying let's do a no back set but if we do that a couple times, and we have 5 wide, and that works or sets the defense off balance at a minimum for a couple plays, then I mean,
Yeah.
do it. Just do it. We've got nothing to lose. But I think the coaches need to do a better job of making
Jesus, Nate.
adjustments.
Well, even the game calling, like why do we? You and I texted on it, and another group text I was on said something about it too. Why didn't they decline that penalty on third down? They could have declined it and should have declined it and gone to fourth down and got the ball quicker. Like there are little decisions like that leave me scratching my head, thinking like there's got to be either more to the story that I'm not thinking of, or they're not able to call a game in real time fashion that makes sense. Because I'm just not impressed. The other thing, I
Yeah,
thought there were a couple big calls from the officials that were happened during pivotal times, or that pass interference early on against the Patriots. I thought was a huge penalty to call there, right there on the goal line. That wasn't a
yeah,
penalty in any capacity. We had them stopped. Should have been fourth down. Like that shouldn't have happened. They got a touchdown, and that missed face mask I felt was coming at a time where like that's a first down 15 yards in a drive that we ended up turning the ball over at the very next play. That's a pivotal moment. Now we lost by 20, so let's put it in perspective. But
yeah.
that certainly did help things out.
No, I do think that just like our coaches, the referees need to do a better job. I think
Yeah.
we'll probably say that every game, but yeah, the face mask call, that was huge because that was the first possession coming out of the half. We had a chance at a minimum to get 14 unanswered and at least change the
Yeah.
tempo of the game or the momentum. And yeah, we turned the ball over the next play when we should have been, you know, we basically gave it to them in their red zone, crying out
Oh,
loud.
it did. Yeah.
But
Yep.
the first half, the first two possessions that they had on offense, Houston had on offense, we gave them like inside the red zone, we gave them like 10 extra plays,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
on penalties. And yeah, some of them were bad calls, and probably shouldn't have been made. But there were a few again where we're making mistakes on offense and on defense, and it's like we
Shitty mistakes, terrible mistakes, just mind fuckery mistakes.
yeah, it it bothers me again because we're so used to the Belichick era, and again, like I don't care if you're the first stringer and you're making your fault, you create a penalty that hurts the team.
Yeah.
I'm pulling you out. I don't know what his philosophy on that was, but it seemed like pull him out, somebody else goes in, and
Yeah.
it could have been like his intent might have been, you know what? I'm bringing this guy back in after this guy clears his head of that mental error.
Right.
But then that guy that he put in started making plays and started doing the right thing. So that switch never happened, right? So, and I don't know if it was because people feared for their jobs and that
Yeah.
worked. I don't know, but it seems like something needs to change on that end because I know the coaches aren't going out there, saying, "Oh, it's okay that you made, you know, nine mental errors for 50 yards." Like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I know that they're telling everybody this is bullshit and we need to clean it up and we need to fix it. But, the more you say that and there's no repercussions for it or no retribution, like then it turns into an empty message. Like, just keep saying it, coach, because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
No,
we've got
I agree wholeheartedly. I'm trying to think of other bright points. Again, they've done this a number of times. But I think the defense started to figure things out in the second half, put together some stops. Obviously they still scored, but I felt like we strung together a couple stops, which in theory could have kept us in the game. This Houston team is a legitimate Super Bowl contender, 5-1, a legitimate 5-1. They're not a walkover. I think they're going to be right in there, one of the top 4 or 5 teams in the league. And while we lost by 20, I thought it was a step forward for this team. I thought it was a large step forward. We were able to move the ball for really the first time this year, consistently move the ball, make some plays. I think that Drake May's dangerous on his feet. I enjoy watching him. I just worry that again he's not going to make it through the year. He took some shots. Like there were a couple times where he got hit so hard. That's my biggest concern with him. I think that again we're not going to face a team as good as Houston every time, but we're going to face a lot of good teams, and we have a really bad offensive line that's only getting worse with every single injury that happens. I don't know what they can do to solve that, but you've got to be concerned that sooner or later he's going to come down with an injury. behind that offensive line.
Yep. So right now, well, I don't know about total defense, but Houston is sitting at 10th. 10th, but that, I mean, again, they've been up and down.
Yeah.
They're 10th in yards allowed, right? Yards per game is 277. That's total. I mean, it doesn't give a ranking as far as where they stay, but that's the stats. And I think yes, that defense is going to travel with them very well, and it's going to be part of the reason why they're successful come playoff time. I hope we sniff the playoffs in the next 5 years, but I mean, my point is that defense is good. You know, Drake May. Let me look at his stats real quick. Drake May, you know, the rookie quarterback going against that coach is a savvy veteran on defense as well. So his defense is going to be stellar, and I'm sure he had some input on how to play defense against this offense and Drake May specifically. So, I mean, for him to go out there, 20 of 33, 243 yards, 3 touchdowns. Don't like the 2 interceptions, but I mean,
one was shit. One wasn't his fault. Got to be happy with that. You've got to be happy with that line. I'm happy with that line.
Absolutely. And again, I think that's statistically, that's probably the best day. That's the best day that we've had for a quarterback this year. So, I mean,
I think there were 3 games. I think you can add up our passing yards in 3 different games this year, and they're not going to equal that. Didn't we have 2 games under 100 passing yards?
I don't know if they're under 100. I think the worst game this year in the league is 119.
Okay. So maybe 2 games. You can combine 2 of our games. Yeah. Excuse me.
I want to see. I want to see the schedule lined up with.
And while you're doing that, I want to talk a little bit about our bet because I don't know if you remember, but Chet and I put together a bet, and I had almost flippantly said, "There's a great clip out there of you viciously attacking me for me saying that the Patriots were going to lose by 20," and then you telling me I'm the Olympics of backtrackers, and turns out the Patriots did lose by 20. I was correct all along, and I am owed money. So I just want to get your thoughts on that, on my football brilliance. And just being able to witness and partner in a podcast with a guy that comes up with bets like that right off the top of his hat. Go ahead, Nate. You want to speak on that?
I'm impressed. Yeah, and again, to be fair, Chet initiated the attacking of you backpedaling. I mentioned it, but he definitely hit the home run with the Olympic.
I mean, he may have taken the first swing, but you were the one coming pummeling after with shot after shot after shot after shot.
Well, because you did literally, and we don't have the footage, as I said, because for whatever reason I think I stopped and it didn't
convenient.
Stop the recording.
Boy, that's convenient.
But you made the statement. You made the statement. They're going to lose by 20. You're going to lose. What? They're going to lose by 20. That's exactly what you said. You predicted it right.
Yeah, I was right. I'm
giving you kudos.
Yes. Yeah, I did. I did.
But you didn't take that. You initially took that bet, and then you were like, "Oh no."
No, that's not. Again, I think we're rehashing old fights here. That's not exactly what I said. I would have taken the $20 bet. My only point was that there should have been odds, and it should have increased. Like that, they were 6.5 point underdogs coming in. For me to bet straight up that they're going to lose by 20 would be like a fairly drastic bet. Is all I was saying. They actually ended up losing by 20. I mean,
it's drastic, but when somebody makes that statement, then I run with the words that I hear. So, I mean, it ended up being in your favor because we did bet, an official bet where we changed the numbers. But you did backpedal on the initial statement when confronted with a monetary value on those words.
I didn't back like on a straight up bet, yeah. But my point was that we would have had to make it just like we did with Chet. I mean, Chet made no claim the Patriots were going to win. We didn't let him bet at face value because that would have been crazy. That's all I was saying.
Absolutely.
That's all I was saying.
So Jacoby's average was 139 a game, and he only had 2 touchdowns. So, I mean, he
There we
blew
go.
his average out of the water, and he's already got 3 TDs. So, I do think again, we don't have video to prove it, but if you recall, Chet and I asked Chet, hey, what do you think Drake May's worth when we
Yeah.
take the 2 out as far as the offensive math? If we could say he's worth 7 points as opposed to what our average was with Jacoby or plus 10. I mean, if he's getting 3 tutties a game or having the potential for that, I hope that again we can use that passing to open up the run game as well. If the only threat, again, offensive mindset, coaches that make adjustments, like I'm not the smartest guy. I don't know the X's and O's. I know that someone out there exists where you create the X's and O's to use the passing game to open up the run game, or vice versa, however you want to do it. But it can be done no matter who's on the field. Execution between X's and O's, practice, and the game, of course, that's going to dictate, how successful you are on the field. But
how long is Stevenson out there? How long is Ramondre going to miss? Do we know?
I don't even know. I didn't know Ramondre was out until this morning.
Yeah, I guess I didn't either.
Yeah, I didn't. What does it say? Just as out. Doesn't even give a reason. I didn't know Joe Milton was out either, though.
I think that's a healthy scratch, right?
I'm guessing so, but why? Because you already had Ramondre out. Like, who did they bring in? Another, they put another lineman.
You need 3 quarterbacks. You need 3 quarterbacks on a game day roster. Probably not, right? If 2 of them are healthy.
Not until you do, but let's say
you need more offensive linemen. Clearly,
right.
Forget that third quarterback. Add a 12th offensive lineman.
I'm not gonna say that Joe Milton. I think Joe Milton is better than Jacoby. You know what I mean? And I don't know if I necessarily want to tell him that, as in Jacoby, but
well, he's a lot bigger than me. I wouldn't tell him that either.
If we have a commodity that someone sees tape in, and I don't want him to be our backup for the rest of his career. If in fact we can spin it, he was a 6th-round pick. Could we spin that for a 3rd or a 4th if somebody sees some potential in him? Like, I think we should. But anyway, that's why I say
not without getting him on the field, right? You got to get him on the field to showcase it. Short of that, just like me, I'd give you anything.
Yeah, just like, well, again, I don't want us to be in the position that we were with Jacoby, where we're down, 20 going into the 4th, and then we bring in another rookie. But if that does happen with Drake May, or again he gets injured, let's bring the other rookie in. Again, we've got 2. I think we've got 2 home run hitters. We know what we have in Jacoby. And again, the situation would dictate. Like if Drake May goes down and we're up by 14, then Jacoby should be the one to go in, because we're gonna, But if it's garbage time, let the other rookie quarterback go out there and get some reps, man.
No, I agree. I agree with that. You're 100%. Because again, what's the worst case scenario? You lose the game. Well, that was probably going to happen anyway. And again, you're not fighting for a playoff spot. This is not like we need every touchdown to. You're playing for next year. You're playing for draft picks. And if you think that him being on the field can leverage you into a 2 or 3 round leap, you got to do it. You've got to.
Yeah,
similarly, you got to trade anyone. Not that this happens in the NFL, but you ought to trade anyone with talent enough that can get you a higher draft pick. Because again, you're going to lose them in free agency anyways.
Yeah, that business decision and football decision. Huh, Wally?
Mm-hmm.
And we should have got some draft picks for, or at least one for Juju.
Nobody was giving us a dime for Juju. Not a dime. He was in football hell for the last 2 years. What did he catch? 3 balls total?
I mean, my argument is that everyone on the roster is a commodity. But again, the business. So I'll revisit this just for my sake. we paid him, and we're still paying him his salary, right? Because we cut him, and we didn't need to cut him. But if we did foresight, we held on to him for 2 more weeks before we even need to make roster cuts. Like Kansas City had the team that he signed with after we cut him. They had another injury at that position. You don't think Kansas City would give us a fourth or a fifth or sixth pick?
I maybe a 6th-round pick, but I think what ultimately comes down to is we overpaid for him. That's what the problem is. At its core, we overpaid for him, and nobody's going to absorb the contract. He is not worth the number that we're still paying him. And I guarantee you, I don't know the numbers, I don't have them here in front of me, but I almost guarantee you that Kansas City probably signed him for their veterans minimum. We had him for much higher than that. And it was a business decision. They weren't going to trade for him because they knew that he was going to be cut, or an equivalent to him would be cut by somebody's roster. They could sign them at that point. I think you're overestimating him. It's a dollar figure issue.
Well, I'm not overestimating him. Just again, that individual, even at that price, holds more value to a team that he formerly played with and a quarterback that formerly threw him the ball. That all equals to a better dollar amount than a veteran minimum, right? Does it equal the $8 million that he was guaranteed? No. But again, the talks can be had where New England's paying 50%, Kansas City's paying 50%. Like that negotiation can happen. It's happened on a number of occasions with everybody else, especially again when there's compensation as in via trade for the player. Like, okay, give us a 6th-round pick and we'll pay half of his salary or whatever it is. But again, if we don't wait till those opportunities exist, we are still on the hook for the money that we paid him. But again, on the business decision, why not? He could be on the roster, the inactive roster right now, and we're just waiting for somebody to say, "Hey, what do you want for this guy? Can we get him off?" And again, Kansas City, two more injuries since the season started to wideouts, and he's getting time now. And yes, they actually maximized the dollar. Kansas City did by doing but we helped them. We gave that commodity away.
I think there's another dynamic that we have to consider is that we want to be able to sign future free agents, right? We want the New England Patriots to be a destination people want to come play for. And if you hold a veteran wide receiver hostage by not playing them for 6, 7, 8 games because you may be able to trade him for a 6th-round pick in week 7, I think it inhibits your ability to sign future free agents. And I think that's got to factor into this. Like, and that might be why they cut him with 2 weeks left to go in the preseason, because they want to be perceived, or maybe they want to operate as a player-friendly environment. They've been hit pretty heavily in that department over the last couple of years. And we've talked about this, about player surveys and how heavily they've been attacking the Patriots for the entire player kind of experience. And maybe this is a step towards building some goodwill with the player association.
Yeah, you might be right. I mean,
holy shit!
Are we
recording that? Did we record that?
Yeah, we're recording for sure. You are probably right, to be honest with you. But again, that's the business side of it. Is, the players are more interested in the business side. How much are you paying me? Right? Like, they know how to play football. Who's teaching them the X's and O's and their daily interaction with the organization? I'm not saying that doesn't matter, but sure, would you rather like the people that you go to work with every day? Absolutely. But
if the money's the same, these are the issues that are going to determine whether or not they sign with you, right? If the money's in the same ballpark, if you're talking about $38 million versus $37.5 million, that may be a determining factor.
Yeah, you're probably right, and that's probably why we have $40 million of unused money in cap space this year.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Would look good on our offensive line.
That look real good on our offensive line. We're almost up against our time limit here. Just a heads up.
Okay. Yeah, no, we're good. Is there anything else you wanted to discuss, or in a closing?
No, I think that was it. I just wanted to. No, no, I'm good. I think my actions speak for themselves. My results speak for themselves. We had a rough day betting it in our pizza fund. I personally had a great day betting. It was one of my more lucrative days of this last couple of weeks
Why didn't we get some of that action?
because it was against you.
Oh, that money. Oh, okay, that
because
money.
you're the reason that is lucrative.
You were talking about your application.
No, we struck out again. We got that. We got that 3-leg parlay, the Dave Portnoy special with St. Brown if he scores. But Detroit's up big right now, and they're probably not going to throw it a whole lot in the second half.
I don't think they're going to let off. I would not be surprised if St. Brown scores a touchdown because he's going to be on the field. He'd probably give him an end around and they'll turn it up. But yeah,
I threw some money at the Patriots. They had a Drake May parlay that I liked, and we hit every. So it was the Patriots plus 6.5.
Yeah.
Which is what we ultimately lost on. Drake May 2 throwing touchdowns. Drake May over 230 passing yards. Drake May over 25 rushing yards, and we hit on all of those. It would have so the only one we didn't hit on was the Patriots plus 6.5.
Oh, that sucks.
Yep.
I thought they had a chance.
The Chicago one with DJ Moore. If DJ Moore had gotten a couple more catches and a touchdown, we hit like a 7-leg parlay that I thought would have been a good one. But what are you gonna do?
Man. Well, thanks for your guttural opinion on the team and the position we're in. I think we both agree the future looks bright.
I agree.
How quickly we get there, I mean, he's gonna get hit 6 to 7 times a game, staying in the pocket. So that highly increases his chance of breaking a collarbone, a shoulder strain. So we're one hit away from him being subbed in for. So I hope that doesn't happen. I hope he shows that he's durable and he
well,
looks
at least
tough.
We saw something to look forward to. For the first time this year, except for that game 1 anomaly, we saw something that we can build on. We saw a glimmer of hope. Like I left that game thinking, all right, I want to watch next week.
Yeah, he did have 5 carries for 38 yards too, so that's good. He looked good on his feet. He did look elusive when he needed to be. I mean,
yes.
Yeah. Definitely the future's bright. All right, man. Thanks for jumping on. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
We'll see you.
C's are on. C's preseason game tonight.
Hell yeah. Who are they playing?
No idea. They blew out 76ers yesterday. They won by 50. Now, the Sixers didn't play anybody, but it still feels good. I want to say the Wizards, but I could be making that up. I'm not really sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right, man.
Talk to you later.
We'll see.